Okay, at this time I'd like to call the meeting to order for our council meeting. We normally have it on the fourth Monday, but we had to move it to this fifth Monday for some other reasons. But anyway, I'd like to call the meeting to order, and I'd like to ask Dennis Things if he would to listen in prayer.
God, tonight I do thank you. With mercy you have given each one of us. I thank you for the love that you have given us. Now God, I ask that you take away all this sickness that everyone is having to deal with, the schools, the daycares, the churches. It's hurting everyone so bad, and I ask you tonight to please take it away. And God, the ones that is so sick, to be with them, just touch them tonight that they might have one good night. God, go with us with this meeting. And once again, I ask that you always give us the wisdom that we need to do this meeting the correct way. Thank you, and we love you so much. Amen.
Thank you, Dennis.
Thank you.
At this time, Samantha, would you call the roll, please?
Trevor.
Here.
Christie. Here. Rodney.
Here.
Dennis.
Here.
Mitzi. Here. And then David is absent.
First thing on the agenda is the approval of the special call meeting minutes that we have sent to y'all earlier. If I could get a motion to approve the minutes of the last meeting for December the 14th.
Make a motion to approve the December 14th meeting last year.
Okay, got a motion, I hear a second.
Second.
Got a motion and a second.
Okay.
Okay.
Christie. Yes. And Trevor.
Yes. All right, also approval for the minutes of November council meeting on November the 27th, but we didn't meet in December as a regular meeting. The other one was a special call meeting.
What about our new sign? Have we did anything with that?
I have sent him the approval, you know, he wanted some of the verbiage changed, I mean, the lettering. And I did that, and I sent him the approval, and this week he sent me back the invoice, and there was an error on it, so I sent that back to him today, and I hadn't heard back from him, but when I sent him the approval, he said that he would start fabricating it maybe this week or next week, and then it would be 4 weeks after that. So we're getting closer.
I make a motion to accept the minutes.
I got a motion, second, here a second.
Second.
Trevor.
Yeah.
And Dennis.
Yes.
Now going for the approval of financial for the November, December, months of November, December, which I think Samantha's already sent that to you.
What y'all will see in your packet today is a little different than what you've been seeing. But you'll have November, December, and then we basically write checks out of 4 accounts consistently, all the time, every month. and that is your general fund, your police fund, your senior center fund, and then your fine fund. And so you'll have a copy of November and December for all 4 of those. And I know we've all talked this week, and moving forward, you'll be able to see all of the accounts. There's about 14. You'll be able to see it all, but the consultants are coming again this month for a little bit more training and cleanup work with me, and then we should have that ready. We're hoping a month, or within the month, that's how I should put that.
So we're looking at 4 accounts mainly, then is what you're saying, looking at senior center, general, and fine, and police, correct?
That's what you have tonight,
Yeah,
yes.
okay.
Now, moving forward, you'll have all of them, but I rarely write checks out of anything else, like the lights, the street lights is one that I write out, but those consistently, I write checks out of them repeatedly every month.
All right, so which one we're gonna do? We're gonna do November 1st, or we,
The Sega construction,
Oh, yeah, safe construction, that
is that, is there
was senior center.
yeah, is there a deposit to offset the,
It was the month before.
okay,
Or it might be in, I think, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's, but you're gonna see it in the, general fund, and not, because it should have gone in the senior, renovation, what is that, senior special account, there's a special account for that, but it doesn't even have any checks in it. So I have to transfer it out and then write checks in it. But there is an offset for sure. I think it's 80-something thousand.
okay.
I apologize for being so vague, but I have probably done 15,000 entries to get to where we are.
I know it's been a while.
So, but
Yeah, she
we're gonna
was
get there,
very
we really are gonna get there.
To get the books, working with our accountants.
The way they did that, Christie, they did 4 drop, like we did an account, but we paid them 4 times, like they sent 4 separate invoices, might be a portion here, or that guy got all his, and then it was just all divided up.
so are we through paying anyone out with the senior center bill? Is it done? We don't owe any more money, or do we owe any more money?
I really don't know, they haven't closed it out yet, they're fixing to. Matter of fact, our grant writer and our engineer are working on that with the DECA. They have to file a report with the DECA to show what all monies have been paid out, brought in, that kind of stuff. And hopefully everything's taken care of. There's been some little issues to come up. Tasha can tell you about those, but they, nothing major or anything like that. It's basically done.
I know they're working toward that too, Trevor, because like the end of last week, he specifically asked me to make a copy of those big draws, like the invoice with the copies of our checks. He was just gonna make sure that everybody's, all the draws matched and that everybody had been paid. So I know they're working on that to close it out.
The ADP, I assume that's payroll, right?
It is.
Right. Where was the large bill for ProGas? What is that?
How much is it?
That's in December's, the 3,300. Is
That's
that
to
for
fill up
which?
the tank here.
For here?
Uh-huh.
I thought it was electric here. Are we keeping the website? Did we decide to keep the website?
Keep it.
Are we getting hits on it? Because you can track, can they tell us how many people are looking at it? Or, I was curious. I thought we'd talk about getting away with it, because nobody's using it. Everybody does social media.
I think if
It
we
is
got,
being used.
I think if we got rid of it, Trevor, because I remember we talked about it, I think we would lose our
Yeah.
act.
It was the emails.
Yeah, we would lose our Ranburne, town Ranburne, whatever.
Yeah, and would also lose
Okay.
our emails,
Mhm.
because they're connected to it.
Is that how y'all do? Is that how you do it? You know, Samantha, do y'all's email?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mayor
Oh, yeah.
town Ranburne,
Okay.
and we would lose that.
Yeah.
What's NB services? Remind me.
I don't know, Trish, how much is it?
1,230.
12,000?
General.
General.
It's 12,000?
No, I'm sorry, 1,200.
Oh, I don't know. I really don't know off the top of my head.
Okay.
I could look though. And these, I just don't remember, I'm sorry. What month was that? That NV services, what month? was
Oh,
it?
November.
And it's general?
Yeah.
Okay. I will
No,
look.
it's, I'm sorry, it's December.
December general, okay,
But it was, the date is 11/28,
okay.
but it's only December.
It cleared in December,
Yeah.
okay. I'll look it up, get as much information as I could.
And we may have talked about this, the bill for Larry Pullen for the work that he did at the, that came out of the general fund, but shouldn't it have come out of
I
the,
had to event it, you know, it wasn't opened, so the checking account don't work,
So
so
it will
I had to
be-
transfer.
it will come out of-
It already did.
It did, okay.
Mhm.
Did we approve that in minutes?
Approve.
Paying Larry the 8,000? Did we ever approve that in our minutes?
I don't bring any specific bills before y'all to approve them.
No, we didn't approve it.
Do y'all need to approve every bill that comes through?
I don't think about every bill, but that's an $8,000
I paid
bill.
22,000 today.
Yeah.
I wrote a check out for 22,000, so that's why I'm asking.
Well, I just know that with some things in the past and, you know, possibly tonight, you know, we're gonna pay one individual and then we've got some other individuals that hadn't been paid. And we didn't, we paid one and we got a couple more. And we know a bill's sitting out there.
I don't have open bills that
Well,
have
y'all,
been paid.
yeah, I brought Rodney two. And I'm just saying, we get to it in a minute, but the thing is, I don't think we ever approved to pay Larry the 8,000. It just
Again,
came
do
out.
I need to bring before y'all every bill that I pay because I wrote a $22,000 check today?
who was it?
Insurance.
Well, that's the place.
Is that health insurance?
No. Health insurance is monthly. You'll see it down there. But that's insurance for all the property and all the cars. But y'all don't have to answer that question. Do I need to bring bills before the council before I pay them?
I would say over X amount, but
Yeah.
we don't want to know every bill.
No, I don't know, every $150.
Okay, so over what amount?
No payroll, of course, that's not a bill. I'd say something, I don't know, y'all throw some figures out. 5?
5K would be, I would, agree,
Yeah.
but I don't wanna know about each one. Not when we can see them, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I just, that 8,000, and, and I, like, I don't know if go down there and look, but, progressing, you gotta have that. You gotta have everything else.
Mhm.
There's necessities that you gotta have. Like 150 to this girl, I assume she cleaned, I don't know. No. Supermarket, no. Water department, no.
But what we need to do is, if we're gonna do that, we need to have, if it's gonna cost more than 5,000, we need to have it approved before the work is done. Because we don't need someone to do work for us and then decide.
Well, just say if a unit went out, they bumped to 10 and 12K now.
Well, I know in the past, if something like that did happen, we usually got a message, hey, you got a 911 here, the septic, for example, down at the senior building, we're going to spend $9,000, whatever it was then, those are no-brainers.
Right.
But I think work besides, what would you call that? Upkeep of buildings, upkeep of facilities, but still be in the know. Anyway, we can move on. I don't know, I don't think that one was approved. I think the man did the work, he got paid.
He got harsh.
Yeah, well, he did some work and he got paid for what he built this for. And I just know that.
I believe that was a harsh. I can't say for sure.
I know when I looked at it, I said, I don't remember voting to pay anybody that amount. I know that he got paid, because, we talked about it at the last meeting in November, I think. We want to approve November and December, or November and then December, approve both of them together.
Just approve both, to get all everything. I hear a motion, we'll do that.
Y'all got any questions?
I don't.
Easy. I make a motion we approve November and December
Okay.
financial statements.
Got a motion, you got a second?
Second.
Okay,
Christie
Yes.
and Betsy.
Yes.
okay. I've got to welcome the visitors. Welcome to our meeting. Thank you for coming. We also got here with us tonight some visitors from Aldott. And I'd like for them to answer any questions that you may have on the school traffic, which these big maps here are what they have done, that they brought to us, and they want to get our blessings on it, and accept a resolution saying that we were going to be okay with it. They have done a lot of work on this, so if you got any questions, they're here. So.
Who proposed for any of this to be done?
This is state highway, and they just do it, they do it, but they want to get our approval because it's coming through our town, What they're trying to do is to eliminate any bad situations happening on school traffic where you're going into the school and crossing the crosswalk there at Country Bowl, right there. And if you'll see right here, I think William can show you this, but what they're planning on doing is they're gonna make this into a turn lane coming in to the school right here. This lane here will be straight ahead, okay? This will be a one lane coming this way. As you'll see right here, they're gonna make a little island right here, so that you gotta go around that to come into this lane here to go straight on. Okay. This one, And this lane over here, well, this lane here will be a turn lane into here. Right here. And right here will be where Ryan is standing, and he's looked at all this, and he's in agreement with it, and I've talked to Tim Ward about it, he's in agreement with it. This is just a safety issue that they've been working on for quite some time. These maps, you see an existing, you see a proposed, and they're doing it on the elementary end too, you know, where you can turn this way. What's it going to do here? These maps are long. This one here is coming in town now. In town, in the future, correct me if I'm wrong on this, William, but in the future, what you're going to have is, they're planning on resurfacing 46 through town. Starting at state line, I assume, is that right?
In the future, in a future project.
And it's a future thing. All they're wanting right now is to talk about the school traffic, because they want to go ahead and start doing what they're gonna do about the school traffic.
Well, there's two proposals right here. One of them will be, if we go ahead with it, it's gonna be pretty much happening as soon as we can do it. But then the next one will be when we do the resurfacing, we can do all the way through town. It's called a road diet. It basically turns your 4-lane into a 3-lane with a center, be a center turn.
They're gonna turn it then like through downtown, instead of it being a 4-lane, it'll be a 2-lane with a turn lane in the middle. That's the way I understand
The
it.
immediate effect's gonna be right there at your school crossing right there. It's gonna take you, instead of your law enforcement having to stop 4 lanes of traffic, you're just gonna have to stop 1 lane in each direction.
So this is where you're gonna start at right here, or you're gonna start right here? You got a turning lane right here.
No, this is gonna be after, this will be after it's
After?
it's done.
in the resurface.
In the
Okay, so
resurface.
this is what's gonna happen, this is what's gonna happen now.
What's gonna happen right now is this outside lane's gonna turn into a drop lane.
Yeah.
Basically into a turn lane into the school.
So you've just got one approach lane
Right.
approaching in this direction. This reduces the crossing width for your pedestrians. They have more room to wait, you know,
Yeah,
and
well,
more
come out here,
visibility.
instead of right
And
there.
they'll have a dramatically different amount of road to cross. Yeah. But then, like he said, we would go ahead and start the transition, you know, as soon as possible for us. We would do this with our forces and begin the work to change this striping here to a right turn lane into the school parking there, and go ahead and, I think, let me pull this down right here. And then we would reduce, that way you're not coming into a lane reduction as you approach your 2-lane section going out of town. It would already be 2 lanes coming past the school and continue 2 lanes beyond, I forget the name of this drive. Young Drive. We would also add a right turn lane here into Young Drive to get them out of traffic, because there are times we've noticed in just some recordings of things that we've gotten that they do back into traffic sometimes,
Right.
depending on arrival times, how quickly they get out of here. So everything on these 2 pages would be done as soon as practical for us to get the work done. The remainder of town would come in the resurfacing.
On this one, right here, when we're coming in right here, is there gonna be some type of warning through here as individuals drive down, the right turn only? Because, I don't know, I'm looking down through here and I see I know I'm gonna either stop or I'm gonna veer left
Right.
with this traffic coming beside me.
Mm-hmm.
Is there gonna be, what type of, is
So
there just gonna be those 2 turn
There will be
arrows?
those, there will be onlys to go with those arrows. There would also be, in this series, we have at least 2 signs that would go in this section telling you that right lane must turn right before it gets to this channel line section. And then we would put another one of those somewhere in between the two arrows.
And I know it takes time, people learn it,
It does.
you know, just out of town people, because this road is used a lot, you know, from Georgia to the interstate. The big transfer trucks like at the way stations clogged up, or I-20's clogged up. It's just a nightmare at night or during the day, whatever. But, okay, I was just curious if there was gonna be some type of
Yeah,
warning.
we have signage that's required to go along with that, with this scenario.
What that should help is when the trooper's standing out there and he's got a truck stopped in that inside lane, somebody don't see the trooper there and they just buzz right on through. Right now, he's just gonna have one lane of traffic he's gotta stop, and when he stops that lane of traffic, everybody should stop behind him. And so then he's not having to worry about kids crossing the road and somebody just buzzing through.
So is there gonna be these arrows here, or will they be there also?
They will, they
Okay,
will, they're
that's
just
fine.
not on
Okay,
there.
just curious.
They will.
So there'll be a turn left right there.
Yeah, they'll still be able to turn left into
Okay.
the school.
And so,
And that will give them that room to kind of stack in there if
yeah, just nothing too.
the traffic's backed up.
There's one lane from the back, but.
A long ways when you're
Yeah,
coming
but
out of
barely to the
elementary school.
Elementary lane,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, because buses and kids are.
Mhm,
But what they're gonna do is cut through country boys.
mhm.
Well, and we try to encourage whoever's gonna be out here, if y'all would help us with this, to only stop traffic for, larger
Groups of
groups.
kids.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not,
Yeah.
I mean,
That's
I've
what they're
seen-
trying to do now. you know.
we've seen, they'll stop traffic for them to go this way, and then they go get them a drink and a sandwich, and they stop traffic to come back through, so
Yeah.
that's just a, mitigation practice that could be enacted to try to
And maybe where you
prevent
set
some
up,
of
Well,
those.
you're only gonna stop traffic every so many minutes to let people through.
Yeah.
Almost like if you have a signalized thing right there, you just do, you walk when it says walk.
I don't mean to cover that up for you.
But you got so many people that stay over after school for athletic purposes and practice, if that's one.
But there are people
It's
walking
convenient
across that at
for them.
6, 7, 8 o'clock.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Right on
convenient.
afternoon. Yeah,
That's after practice, so they can.
yeah.
So
Even
way
after
over
ball
there,
games,
yeah.
sometimes parents say, I'll pick you up at the school, yeah.
Yeah.
So, have y'all got any other questions or anything? They just want to do a resolution saying that we accept so that they can go ahead and start on the school traffic right now.
Have we got a resolution drawn up, or we just need to?
No, we'll
approve
approve
it?
it, yes. I just
Approve the
want-
right one?
Yes.
I'll make a motion to approve the right as a resolution to
Okay.
begin construction to make everything easier at worded.
Frankly,
Yeah.
Got a motion and a second.
And I'm gonna put that in the minutes, that the resolution is to start proposal 1, and I've got the detail. So in your minutes, that's how you're gonna see it.
Right.
And who did the second? I'm so sorry.
Dennis.
Yes.
And then Mitzi and Christie.
Okay, now then, we'll go to our reports. This time I'm gonna ask Barry Nolan if he would to give us a report on William, thank y'all for coming.
Thank you, sir.
Thank y'all.
You call us if you have questions, we'll be glad to answer.
thank you.
Police Department monthly report, we had 37 calls in the last month. It was a little over a month of all of December, most of this month. But it'll get back to normal next month. But had about 20 traffic stops, and we served 2 misdemeanor warrants, and then made a felony arrest for drugs. We had taser training on January the 12th, and we've also received 3 applications for the police officer job that's open, and we're planning on doing a PT test for the ones that's applied within probably the next 3 weeks. It's going to be, I originally scheduled it for February the 17th, but I've got something that's come up for that weekend, so I may push it back another weekend. Because, I mean, I'm not gonna hire nobody that can't pass a PT test. That's useless. If they can't pass that, they can't go through the academy, so, you know. We ain't had nobody to apply that's already certified, like I wish we could get, you know, that way they could hit the road going now, but nobody's applied. And also the black truck, we took it a couple weeks ago, the cage come in, we've been waiting for 2.5 months for a cage. They called, said it was in, they were ready to do everything. Took it up there to them, they lettered the tailgate, and then took the cage out to put it in, and it had been destroyed in shipping, so now we're waiting. They brought the truck back, and we're waiting for a new cage to come in. He said it'd be in 7 days, that's been 2 weeks ago, so I ain't heard nothing from him. So, but we'll get that done just as soon as they get it, but it'll look just like my truck does, with police, Ranburne police down the side. You know, it'll look just like it, it's supposed to be designed just like it, and plus it'll have a cage in it so that when he hauls somebody arrest, you know, they won't be able to get to him and stuff. You know, and also the Tahoe, right now, it's out of commission, it won't run. I mean, I don't know, that you go around there, if you're gonna run it, you gotta take a jump box with you everywhere you go, because it won't. They just had new batteries put on it and it kills them within a day. So, we're gonna have to do something with it, either take it and have it worked on, look into trading, or something that have to be done by the time we hire another officer. Something that have to be done, so we'll have something to drive. You know, but I took it, when they actually came and got the black truck, I let Daniel drive my truck, and I took it. Of course, I was out of town that weekend, so I told him to just go get my truck and use it while I was out of town. But when I come back in that Sunday night, I got the Tahoe, jumped it off, drove it home. The next morning, I had to jump it back off. And I let it run for several hours, drove it around, come back, parked it, tried to crank it, it wouldn't do nothing but click. And then the next day I done the same thing, and then it crunked afterwards. It's just hit or miss. Sometimes it cranks, sometimes it won't. I don't know. I'm not that good of a mechanic, but I think a lot of the problem is the dog kennel that's in it is draining the battery. But it's been unplugged, because Ledbetter said that when they had it and put new batteries on it, they couldn't get the batteries to take a charge with the dog kennel plugged up. So, but we'll be taking the dog kennel out of it possibly, so, because we ain't got the dog, so we'll be taking it out and putting the other back in. So that'll alleviate that part of it, but I don't know, you know, the only thing I know is either we take it and let somebody look at it and see what they can find out about it, or look into trading, or whatever we gotta do to get another vehicle for another officer to drive. That's about all that I've got.
It is a Chevrolet, right?
Yes,
Yes,
what's wrong with it?
Do we want to carry it somewhere that, do what you say, unfortunately?
That's what's wrong with it.
No, that ain't what's wrong with it. It's too close to a Ford at night or something, I don't know. Do we need to carry it somewhere and let them look at it? I mean, to a dealership and let someone look at it? I mean, that could be, try to find out, see what exactly is pulling. Mhm.
I wish we had, like, the black truck, and I wish all of them had it on there, and they were supposed to put it on my truck, but they didn't do it. I wished it had a cutoff on it, where, like the black truck, once you turn the switch off or get out of it, after so long, it shuts down everything, so it don't drain the battery. And that's what the rest of them need on. And, if we can figure out what's drawing the battery down, and of course that one was having trouble before. There was times where you jump in it, Jamie would, and take off, and it wouldn't get over 30 miles an hour. She took it back to Buster's and had it checked, and they never could find nothing wrong with it. Yeah, I don't know what was wrong with it then, but and sometimes it would just go dead. Like one day before the parade, we come up here and jumped it off and drove it the night before, drove it all around, everything. And my truck was down at the car wash being washed. We went down to pick it up. We pulled up down there and parked the Tahoe and got out to get in my truck. And we stand there talking to Kevin down there. And while we stand there talking, the Tahoe just shut down, just went dead. And then we had to come back and get the jump box and go back and jump it back off.
How old are those things, 3 years old?
They're 19s.
They 19?
Yeah. Yeah,
Don't
19.
seem like it, but they're 19s.
Yeah, 19.
Yeah.
How many miles is on that?
I think right at 80,000. I think 78,000, somewhere around there, I think.
Okay.
I think it's what, I don't know for sure, but I think that's what one day when I looked at it, what it was.
Teflin's had the same problems too, with some of theirs, where it cut off like that. Then he turned going like his, having that same problem.
Yeah, and usually all of them go, transmission goes out at about that point too. Every one of the counties has.
You mentioned the dog. Do you have an update where we're at with anything? Because we were told that you were in charge and that just,
I haven't done nothing with the dog.
so she still has it.
Yeah.
Does Ranburne County, did anyone try to negotiate that? I mean, I know that it was talked about, I don't know if anybody.
No, I haven't tried to talk to them about none of it yet.
How did you want to?
I was told not to. You remember we got that email?
Yeah.
Not to talk to them, so I abided by that.
So is that not kind of,
Well, I plan to talk with the sheriff tomorrow, because we've also sent another request for reimbursement by state law for her training. You know.
and how much is that supposed to be?
I forget how much was it?
It's close to $20,000.
Well,
Because what you do is it includes everything. It includes somebody to cover a shift while she's gone, covers all the room and board, all the food, all the clothes that we bought,
Salary.
her salary that we paid while she was gone. I mean, it mounted up, and for any special equipment that was purchased.
It's state law and everybody.
I want to say it's like 18 something, but it's right at $20,000.
What does the law say?
I sent it to y'all, it's a state statute was passed. It really was updated in September of last year. But it basically just saying that if you go from one agency to another, with, you know, within the two-year period.
Yeah, you got, once department sends you to the academy, you gotta stay with that department at least 2 years, or whoever picks you up is held liable to reimburse that city or county, whoever it is for the,
I must have missed that one.
yeah.
I didn't know.
Did they, have they
No,
replied
have
at
not
all?
responded, that's the reason I was gonna call David tomorrow.
You know him?
Yeah.
Okay,
I think we're kin a little bit.
okay.
Might not be happening tomorrow.
They have a seat.
Maybe we'll phone out the door.
But you know, it's something that all law enforcement agencies know. I mean,
Yeah.
that's why she applied for a couple of places and they wouldn't hire her because they didn't want to reimburse it. They didn't want, a lot of places won't because they don't know that reimbursement, because it is a pretty good chunk.
But they get a certified, they get a certified person for, they should get it.
Yeah, that we pay for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They know that.
Larry, is the smell still bad in that SUV?
It's pretty bad, but it's not as bad because I've set off foggers inside of it, and I've put all kinds of, stuff in it, and I think if the dog kennel comes out, it'll probably bring a lot of it out, but still, it's got hair all in it, I mean, it's everywhere, all over
That's a hard
it.
thing.
But you believe somebody would be able to drive it minus the smell?
You go down to the car lot, you go down to the car lot and test drive some of them used ones, they smell just as bad.
Yeah, they tried everything they could down it, back to,
When I bought my last truck, I went to Buster's and I drove one. My wife loved it. She said, "I love this truck." I said, "Yeah, but I can't handle the dog smell."
Yeah,
I
that's
said,
what
"So
I
I'm
mean.
not buying it." You can't get it out.
Well, maybe keep us up to date on the dog, because I still get questioned about it. I know it's been over a month since we knew anything, so keep us up to date. That way we can relay to folks.
okay. Next on our, agenda is the senior center, manager Tyson Whittle.
total of 21 serving days. In the month of January, we had 3 new additions. 2 of those were homebound and 1 was congregant. 13 yearly renewals, 11 of those were homebound, 2 was congregant. We had 2 deletions, both were homebound deletions. 1 was because of a move and the other was because of a death. We have a total now of 38 homebound. We have listed now a total of 30 congregants, which we average anywhere from 10 to 12 a day though, but we do have on list 30. We currently have 7 on the waiting list for homebound meals, but we are very limited to how many we can serve because it depends on from our first dip to our last delivery. We have to stay within that 2-hour window, so. We've had 10 guests to come speak and do activities in the month of January. Topics I went over for the month, I'm required to go over at least 4 health topics, nutrition topics, whatever, a month. Those are the topics that I went over for the month. I was able to contact Mr. Cash with the Community Action Agency of Cleburne County, and they were able to help out 3 of our seniors with over 200 gallons of propane free of charge for them.
Good job, Tasha.
Yeah. They were very, very thankful for that. We're attending the health fair tomorrow. I just went ahead and added that on there because we're having our meeting today. That is hosted by the Alabama Cares Program and the East Alabama Area Agency on Aging. They are who we, of course, have our grant through, and I feel like we need to support that health fair every time they host that. One thing that I didn't put on here, in December, we had one of our drivers to quit. We had 7 people to turn in applications for that, and I did hire 1 driver, and then the other driver that 2 applications out of the 7 were outstanding. So I hired 1, and the second one, she has agreed to being our sub driver if we ever need that. And it has worked out because one of our drivers is in Blairsville, Georgia, and has been for 3 weeks. Her sister fell and broke her hip, and she's the only one that can be there. So thankfully, this sub driver has been able to step in and help us out, and she has agreed to help us anytime we need it.
Who are our drivers?
Amber Benton and Judy Turner.
Okay.
And our sub driver is Cherie Williams. The only other business that I have that I did not list on here is, I talked to Samantha and Rodney both about it, and it is something that I just wanted to bring before all of you, is possibly selling our bus because it is so large. We can barely get into some of the places that we need to get into because it is so large, and we don't have the amount of people that goes with us to fill it up. It holds like 10 gallons of motor oil. The expenses add up quickly. The only way that I would agree to get rid of it is if we are able to purchase something else, but a lot smaller, to where we don't have to have somebody to have CDLs to drive it. And it gets us in where we need to be able to get into. Like some of our health fairs that they host is in Heflin, and because of where it is, we can't even get our bus in there. Like we have to park, they have to walk across the bridge, then the parking lot into the, so it's wonderful to have, it's so nice to have, but it's just not what I feel like we need. I just feel like it's larger than what we need. Does that make sense?
It does.
Yeah. So I just wanted to bring it before you guys, before we do anything. And that is all I have.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tasha.
Yes.
Okay, we'll turn it over to Samantha.
Honestly, I just have 2 things that I wanted to bring to your attention. I know we already talked about the insurance premium. I was just gonna let you guys know that we did pay that for the year. We had gotten a letter that the premiums had gone up 20%, so Rodney and I met with the insurance representative and work toward, there were some items on there, and I'm just gonna give you one example, but like we're still insuring the bleachers at the rec department. So we took some items off that definitely do not need to be insured, and then we went up on some of our premiums where it seemed feasible, that we would be able to cover, you know, a higher premium just to be able to get that back down to cover that 20% that it had gone up. So we did that, and then this, I'm sorry, no, go ahead.
The premium last year was 24,000. It's what we ended up paying. It started off 22, but by the time we added some things, it was 24. They sent us a letter and said that they were going up to 20% on premium, on their rate. And so that happened to everybody across the board. Every town that's with Amy, which is just about every town in Alabama municipality. And they took that, Samantha worked real hard, and I helped her on it, looking at our insurance from last year. And as a result of being able to knock off what we did, and we raised our deductibles on some stuff, we were able to bring it back down below what it started out last year.
And the other thing that I just wanted to bring to y'all's attention is the, hopefully I've shared it in a text or something, but maybe not. I just want to make sure that everybody's aware. We have diligently worked on the reconciliation of our books, and we have completed a starting point. We have completed October, November, and December, and we are geared to reconcile January immediately at the end of the month. Like everything is entered, and we should be there. So huge, huge accomplishment. I'm completely confident that, you know, obviously the MDA consulting is helping us in this process, so I'm asking a lot of questions, they have a lot of input, and I'm completely confident that we will pass an audit in October. They have a lot of things that we still have to clean up, like in coding and different things like that, but I'm confident that an audit is possible in October.
Anything else on that, Samantha?
No, nothing else from where I'm at.
Thank you.
So like when you close this promo account, did you just like move that somewhere?
I haven't closed any of those yet.
That you
that was-
will? Is that what I'm
Well, I
saying,
was
or-
waiting till we get down here because I have to have you guys' approval for us to vote. Do y'all want to skip municipal court and go straight to that since we're talking about it? I don't
I
mind.
don't care.
I mean, would y'all?
Jumped ahead, my bad.
No. I think that's probably a good direction to go in. So, let me just get to my sheet, because I really am gonna have to specifically ask you guys about these, because according to their guidelines, we're gonna have approval to close the ones that we're presenting to you guys. Okay, so the court account. There is a court account. There is what's called a fine account. And then, I think that's it. And they're the same. They are the fines that you collect at court, and then you turn around and pay all the court costs. You can pay magistrate salary, pay the judge, pay the lawyer, all of those go out. So we had always used the fine account forever, because like there's old checking account in there. So then all of a sudden, this court account was created. Same thing. Now we have all the money going back in the fine account, so there is no purpose of the court account to be open. So we will transfer all that money with the approval of MDA. I will transfer it all into the fine account, and court account will go away, because they are the same, they have the same income and they have the same output.
Are you about to find fund right here, the one above court account?
Yes,
Okay.
that's the same
right.
exact thing.
Gotcha.
So we're gonna close court, okay? Now go down to promo. Promo has no income. It has not had an income, I can see, at least 3 years in the past. Promo was for, like when we rented out the senior center, It's mostly donations, honestly, from what I can read. Now, I can read you a better explanation, but it has had no income. Hang on just one second, let me have it here so that I can read you what comes from the auditing firm, if that's what it's used for. Let's
Is
see.
that what we bought the flags and everything?
Yeah.
Anything
Okay, it is the pavilion mantle, modern woodman, flag donations, but it has had no income for years. So what they suggest, because it doesn't have its own income, doesn't have its own output, is that we just use the general fund and I code it correctly. So she suggested closing that. The corrections fund,
And we could still, if we close that, we could still buy flags and whatever else out of the general fund.
yeah, well, that's what you're doing now,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
You're just depleting the promo fund
Right.
and it'll go away. The corrections account, I'm sorry, that takes me a second. Flip, that's too much. Bear with me just 1 second. Okay, the corrections account is, again, court cost. It's for construction, operation, and maintenance of the jail, which we're not doing that. So we have, also, it could be a juvenile detention or court complexes. But the correction fund has, again, it has no specified income coming out of the court. The court costs are going into your fine fund and they're distributed automatically to tell me where to pay. There's nothing going into this, so it has no income, no output. So she suggests that we just move it and use it.
Move it to, any suggestions, which account?
Well, I mean, obviously you would go into the fine fund with it because it is, it came originally out of court cost or should have. I just can't see it. So the rec department, obviously it's zero, so I'm closing it. That senior center donation, it's the one that has never had a checkbook. And the senior, their donations go directly into their account, the senior center account, and then we just code it donation. So I'm just closing it, has nothing in it anyway. Let's see what's next. Okay, the event center. You know, it's the one that was opened without authorization, and it, again, has no income. Like, it has no regular income, no regular output. And what I'm having to do now is, we have the temporary water and power there bills, so I have to transfer them to general and pay them and code them event. So she suggested, since we had originally, in the minutes, it said we were gonna put that in the general fund, she said just put it in the general fund and pay, and I have an event code. The next thing is the senior center improvement project. We're closing it out because it's been depleted, and I left the $100 there just so it's open, but I'll just put it into the senior center and that'll go away. We have loan, zero, closing it. The COVID account, zero, and it has no future income. Okay, the drug fund is the same as the PD seizures. And it originally, I thought both of those should probably just go directly into the police fund, but that's not correct. This can only be used with a judge's approval. The judge has to sign off what we use this for. Drug fund or PD seizures, they're the same. It's whatever's confiscated, whatever's sold for profit, whatever the case is, they just need to be the same account, and we will have to leave those open.
So the drug fund, we're not closing it, or
No,
you're combining?
I'm gonna close the drug and go back to PD seizures, so that it indicates that it's all seizures, whether that be drugs, vehicles, whatever the case might be. And then, of course, the rate donation is a zero. And so I just need a piece of paper, and then somebody to approve the closure of all that we have spoken about, and I will list them out in the minutes approval.
I hear a motion that we approve the ones that need to be closed out according to our county.
I make a motion.
Got a motion? Second.
Okay, and then Dennis and Christie.
Yes.
Okay. I'll go back up to the top there on the one that was skipped over there. We'll let Samantha talk to you about this as well, because she's the one that handles the book on this, but, about approval for a vote to abolish and reestablish municipal court.
You guys should have a sheet in there, and what that is a, just showing you exactly what came in this year. So total is 24,000. That's what we brought in all year long. So then you have to take out everything that you see there comes out of that. And then you'll notice at the bottom, we haven't been capturing this because I honestly, I just haven't. But I need to start if we're gonna keep it here. But where it says salaries for judges, clerks, magistrates, and any other combined expenditures. Now, this year, I did have to give them a total budget, so I figured up an approximate. But we haven't been capturing it inside our system. So consider the judge, the clerk, the magistrate, the police officer standing here for court, any of those expenditures. Now, the other thing that you have to remember too is, let's see, I have the judge, the police, the magistrate. That gets you down to, you've made about $8,000. Okay, well then I tried to count it up last month, but I'm spending around 18 to 20 hours during the month just working on court stuff. Like, this has nothing to do with sitting here for court. This is paperwork, mailings, answering the phone, taking payments, all of the above. And that's just the best estimate I've got, guys. And then we have stamps. So that's getting you down to about approximately 5,000. I mean, if you do your math, it's gonna get you down to around 5,000 for the year. Well, I've got to go to training if we're gonna continue having it here. So I'm gonna guess anywhere from 15 to 2,000 because it's be my initial, and I'll have to go 4 different times and it'll likely be an overnight stay. The other thing that I wasn't aware of, but we also, like every year then you have to go for a retraining. And Allison does that as well, and we've always paid for Allison's. I don't know how much hers is. I'm gonna guess around 500 based off the application, but she says hers is a little different than mine. She was gonna send me an invoice tonight, and I don't have it yet. But we'll have to pay for Allison's retraining as well. And then in addition to that, this program that we use for court, it's called MCA. Anyway, the program that we use for court, I also have to pay that for the year, and that is, Lord, I don't remember, it's either 600 or 800, I don't remember which one. So
We've dwindled down to about even.
Yeah, and that is just my best estimate. You know, obviously there's little things that pop up here and there. So I know we've talked about it, and we've talked about it a couple of times, but at this point, maybe let's just decide what we're gonna do. And then we talked today, just Barry and I in conversation here, and maybe we try this. Maybe either way, I've got to clean, there are stacks and stacks and stacks of open cases. I've got to clean that up. Allison has been helping me. We do a small stack every time she comes. So whether we move this to Heflin or we keep it here, that's all got to be cleaned up. So we're whittling away at that. I was just going to say 3 months was my goal. I was just going to say 3 months, getting all that cleaned up, and we've got a good, clean point. But I hope that's realistic. I just don't know. But then maybe we try this for 6 months, which gives us maybe till the end of the year. And then if this isn't working for me, for y'all, for Barry, for anybody, then we just sit here and talk about it again. We at least consider the cost to the town right now.
We also have to pay the attorney.
Yeah, and
He is our prosecutor, and also have to pay the judge.
So who pays the attorney and judge over there? If it's moved to Heflin?
They do,
They do.
Heflin does?
yes.
They get all the
They
expenses
get
and
all our
the
business.
income.
We don't get anything.
Yeah.
but they can't get all.
Well,
And as a
Warren
matter
said,
of fact, we'll get a
we'll
little
get,
bit.
we'll get a little
We'll get a
tiny
little
check,
bit.
but it ain't gonna be anything like,
No.
it's not gonna be enough for us to sit here and talk about, seriously.
Yeah.
And so is it gonna be as easy to bring it back to here as just us voting on it?
Here is the guidelines. I do have the guidelines. I've spoken to Warren about it more than, a lot. And I know, I didn't look through it to say bringing it back, because honestly, that just came up in a conversation today that we would consider that. But I don't understand why it wouldn't, if it's as easy as a vote to, because it's abolishing and reestablishing municipal court. I know that at some point, you would have to be able to take that ownership back as a municipality if you saw it. But I can confirm, what we can do is if you guys are up for voting on it, we can vote on it with the understanding that we would have that option. If we don't have that option, then we could reconvene, and if y'all are okay with that.
What did Barry,
I was just, Barry,
what's your opinion, Barry?
do you have any input?
And is Dan, is he here tonight?
No, he had something he would have to do tonight with his mama. But, I mean, I went and talked to Ross about it. Ross said it would probably benefit the town to do away with it and go up there. They do theirs through the county. They don't have municipal court. And I talked to Warren today. I went by and sat with him today and stuff. And a lot of the fears that I had as far as swearing in tickets and stuff, I was afraid we would have to go all the way over there and swear in tickets. But we don't have to do that. We can if we wanted to, but you can do it all. We can call them up and we can give them our login IDs. They can log in the system with them, and then we swear them in over the phone or by FaceTime or whatever. But and everything, as far as I was worried about court too, was us having to go over and sit all day. But they said that possibility they'd be months that we wouldn't even have to come to court. And, you know, because a lot of the stuff, like your traffic tickets, most people just pay them. Most people don't fight it, you know, and most of you misdemeanor stuff, most people plead it. They don't fight that a lot neither. So, and also, there's a side of me that says, yeah, do it, try it, you know. But there's a side with the change, you know, everybody dreads change and stuff, but.
Bother us that much, it'd be more on you.
Yeah, but Ross said it would save the city money for it being over there and all, and I think it takes away a lot of liability on the city too, because you ain't got to worry about swearing warrants. Like right now, if I arrested somebody and done something wrong and they shouldn't have been a warrant sworn out, and she put out a warrant and she swore you know, done the warrant.
Made a mistake.
Yeah, made a mistake. It was a mistake there. The city could be held liable and be sued, you know, and stuff. So there is, you
Some
know.
pros on it.
Yeah.
More than just the
Yeah.
financial.
Which is why I was
Yeah.
saying, like, if
Yeah.
we're gonna keep it here, I've got to get myself,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Alice and I have been talking about that, so I'm gonna sign myself right up.
Just like everything, there's pros to it and there's cons to it. I mean, it's
Pros outweigh the cons.
probably.
Okay. Sounds good.
And you know, like I told her, you know, if it don't work, I think it won't be as bad as I think it would probably be. I just don't think it's gonna be that bad. It may get, like right now, I take 2.5 hours off from my regular job to be here for court. I may not ever have to take off a day to go to court, because I may not have to go. But my fear was with them was too, and they told me it wouldn't happen, but we'll see. But my fear with them, I know when I have felony cases over there, like back in the month of September, I think it was, I was at work at the depot and I get a phone call, hey, are you coming to court for so-and-so's trial? I said, well, when is the court? They said, right now. I said, no, I'm not coming, because I'm at the depot and I'm not gonna make it there. It's gonna be an hour and a half before I can get there. I said, you just gotta do what you gotta do, you know. Case gets thrown out. I said, that won't work with me. And I said, you're gonna have to let me know a month in advance or 2 or 3 days in advance that, hey, you got court. And they said they would be a subpoena either sent to me or a court docket sent to me. And I said, as long as you do that, we're fine, because it looks like Friday I got a court docket for for February's court, federal felony court, and all for any cases that I've got coming up in February. As long as they do that, it'll work good, you know.
And so I did just find in this packet on page 45, the memorandum that you send is you check off whether it's abolishing the municipal court or reestablishing the municipal court. So it has to be an option because you have to check off which one you're doing.
Anything else? I hear a motion that we approve the.
And it will not be a fast process. It will take us a little bit. You know, I'll work with Warren. Oh, yes.
Take a while. We need to go ahead and vote on it anyway.
Yeah, well, we have to start the process.
Make the motion, we abolish it.
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second.
Christie and Betsy.
Yes.
Okay, the next thing is the updated ordinance on accordance with Business License Reform Act 2006. And I'm going to ask Samantha because she's the one that's been working with the state of Alabama. I think they give her a call and she'll tell you about that.
So in the process of establishing our relationship with Avenue for the purchase of business license, obviously you guys remember we ran into a lot of bumps in the road. So we have been able to offer it to our businesses in town. They could do it either or. You can go on, I think Avenue is working correctly now, or you can come in. Well, when they're coming in, I don't remember at what point, but from the state of Alabama Revenue Department, he calls and says he needs a copy of where we have adopted this Reform Act of 2006. So I found an ordinance. It wasn't signed, but it was from Jim and Pam. During that time, it was voted on. I saw it in the minutes where they are going to adopt this Business License Reform Act, or we are going to adopt it. But it wasn't signed, but I just took it out because the guy's saying I have to have it and I gotta have it now. So I sent it to him hoping and praying he will notice that it's not signed. Well, it took a little bit and he sent it back and he said, did you read this? And I said, no, it says, you know, it's for that. He said, well, honey, this is the same one that y'all were using before. So I go back and that is from Pat, Uncle Pat and Johnny's time. And they didn't change the verbiage, they just put it on a new sheet of paper and put it at the top for the Reform Act. So he says, okay, you have to adopt this Reform Act. It should have been done in 2006. It was attempted in 2016-17, and he says it has to be done now. And his words were, now, or you're not going to be in compliance. I said, okay, hey, we got it, we'll do it. We have a council meeting coming up, which is when I alerted you guys. Well, the more I dig into it and the more I research, and he gave me, or you can find it on the municipality website, where they give you a sample ordinance. But immediately I noticed the difference in what we do is a lot of municipalities charge based off a schedule of square footage, sales, like a percentage of their sales, gross sales and stuff, but we don't. We do a fee schedule, which is really cheap in comparison to what has most municipalities, because this is what they suggest. I'm not saying that we make that change. I don't know that that's necessary for us. But what we do have is a list of things that we have to change immediately. And what I've seen, and the more I look at it, the more confused I get and the more questions I need to answer. So this afternoon at 3 o'clock, I called him and said, look, we're attempting to do everything that you're telling me that we need to do, but I have got to stop because there's some things I don't understand. So he said he would grant us an extension. He said, we don't want you to do anything wrong. So he's just gonna work with me, help me answer some questions, so we will not have to have a vote on this tonight. But what I do wanna tell you guys so that we can start to think, because I think what we do is I ask some questions, and then I go back and forth with some emails to you guys so that we're all educated before we actually put this into play. The biggest thing is you have to use that NAICS code. And if any of y'all have, my old industry, the NAICS code is just the coding that we determine whether a manufacturer goes in this group of people, or if you sell clothes, you go in this group of people, and it's just a numbering system. That's all it is. But we have to adopt that onto our business license, where now we're not coding them with anything. So that has to be done. There is a thing called delivery license, and I was talking to Carl before the meeting started because I'm very confused about that delivery license. So he was able to educate me a little bit about what people have been doing that deliver to him, and they've just been basically buying business license. So question for me to figure out is, do they need a business license, or are they all just a base delivery fee, which is $100, and that covers them for the year? I don't know that. I will find that out. The other thing is a late fee penalty. We haven't been doing that at all, but it's law. It's not something that we can sit in here and say, oh, well, we don't really want to do that. It has to happen, and we have to charge them a certain amount. The other thing is that right now, where a lot of people are doing businesses in the town, like they're working and they're not purchasing business license. So I need to ask what our process should be or could be for those people. Who identifies it, who sends the letter out, and I think that could come from Avenue. But again, I will ask a lot of questions, and if you guys...
That was a question that we had before we hired Avenue, that if you could get the businesses that was going on in-house, are you tracking those? And she told us, yes, that they would be.
They are, and I do agree with that, because they're picking up on like who's filing it on their taxes, like me with a perfect cup. Like they're going to pick up on that because I have a business license, and they're going to pick up that I've paid my taxes with it. But what about the guy? And I'm just going to use Tree Brand as an example. What about the people who are working up there at Tree Brand? They don't have a business license to do any kind of construction in this town. So who identifies them, and who lets Avenue know that we need to get a letter out to them? So I just need to kind of work.
You know, that was the main reason that we hired them, to take that off of us. That was their job, to go in and see.
How would they see that?
I don't know, she couldn't explain it to us, and so the thing was, you know, they were supposed to track transactions within the Ranburne city limits, somehow, some way.
And they may be, and this business license may have been obtained online, but if it was after November, because I was sitting in there trying to buy a license, and we could not buy, me or Jackie. So it's a good question for me, if y'all will agree that I will just try to educate all of us. So just be aware that we have to pass an ordinance. We have to. We don't have any choices. But I can ask some questions. Is there anything else just off the top of your head that you can feel like I would ask that would help us?
I believe it's, no kidding, I need you to ask about James. We have been, had to run around them people
Okay.
With Avenue?
with Avenue.
Really?
I've
It's
had to
very,
send them certified letters. Even had to send them how much she makes a year.
Which is gonna tick a lot of people off.
It's none of their business.
I was not gonna be defeated, but we still haven't got.
so but in Avenue's defense, that is, and that's what the state is telling us. This is what we should be doing. This is how we should be issuing business license. This is how all municipalities, the majority of municipalities, do business. It's based on square footage, how many employees you have, not all of that, but depending on which category you go into. We are the minority because we just say, and again, I'm gonna use Tree Brand as an example. They pay $45 for their business license. And then you have businesses that are contributing right here that are paying over $200. So, honestly, I think as a whole, we probably need to look, like, I'll get some questions answered. We may decide to have a little work session and say, sit down and just look at one versus the other, the direction that we're going in, because you can also pull things out and make up your own rules. Like, they give you some guidelines. So one particular business license that I sold today was $74, and if I went back to this different schedule, it would have been 100 or 120. Like I had a little question. So see, that's not a huge hit to a company or a business. Then in some instances, it's a $2,000 hit. So anyway, we just need to look at it. We need to have an open mind. I'll get some questions answered and we'll look at it together.
So are they going to communicate with Avenue, or are you just communicating with this business license group? Because is that Avenue right there that you're saying?
No, this
Okay.
is
That's the
Alabama state law.
Okay, so that's state law, that's what I thought. All right, so are they not communicating with Avenue on how to collect the business license?
They are not, they have no affiliation with Avenue.
Because see, we were told they did, that they were gonna coordinate
Well,
with
not with
state
the-
taxes and business and everything else.
So many
Yes.
years.
Yes.
Well, now they'll do the taxes and stuff, but not as far as our guidelines for business license. Our guidelines for business license, we told Avenue what to do. We sent them our old instructions and told them what to do. Yeah, but we can send them new instructions. Won't be effective till next year, but, I mean, obviously they will get new instructions because there will be late fees and that kind of stuff, and we don't have any of that included in our instructions.
We're gonna table this one.
Yeah.
And then are y'all okay with me just sending emails out as I get questions answered, and then we'll go from there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is there anything else?
The business license?
Oh, yeah, we need, well, we're not gonna vote on that.
Table it.
Yeah, type it. Anything else?
For tonight's business, yeah, I got a few things I'm gonna throw out there. One, I think this is gonna be a very positive for Ranburne, if we can hopefully put some ink to the paper and get some great minds thinking alike. Very, very excited about this. I've been approached by an individuals who is interested in bringing a grocery store / deli to Ranburne. The individual called me and I said, hey, I'm ears, let's talk. And I'll present it to the council and let's see what we can do, move forward with it. It's a great opportunity. As I have said to people before, we're starving to death right here in Ranburne. But there's gonna be a few things we need to do. And I think in order, just my side is me talking, y'all know I like to talk. There's gonna be some things that we're gonna need to do. One is to, and I know David's not here, but we need to be 100% full support. This individual has asked that the city council be 100%. I told him I was 100% in support of this. And the next one, that's an easy one, I honestly think. They're all easy. The next one is be willing, the city, be willing to find and write and pay for a grant to help fund the building. The grant is out there. The grant is out there. That's the reason I texted you the other day, and I don't even know if Tier Cup is one that could help with this. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. That's worth a phone call, and I'll make the phone call. To see, once this gentleman, a group of people can talk to us. That's who I recommend, because he did a good job for us on getting senior centers, the grant, and he did one, yeah. And so he did a good job with that.
Did we pay for that? Did we pay him to do that?
Yeah.
ACO?
Yeah, he got a portion
Okay.
out of that.
Out of the, he got a portion of the grant, okay.
One thing that I know I researched a little bit on the grant is that when we find this person to help write and, city pay for the grant, is we got a detail that Ranburne is what they call a food desert. And you can see it on YouTube, it's out there on YouTube. Explain, not Ranburne is a food desert. Like a,
What food desert is.
What a food desert is, it explains it very, very good.
What'd you say?
A food desert,
desert.
like the Sahara Desert,
Okay.
okay, or the Gobi
Which is-
Desert.
Give them a little bit of what qualifies somebody as a food desert.
You may have to help me.
If they have so many miles, if it's so many miles to a grocery store, and then if you have, I think I'm correct here, if you have a liquor store without a grocery store, then you're considered a food desert. Now, don't quote me on all that, but look it up and see. Ranburne is definitely a food desert.
There's areas that are 4 or 5 times bigger than Ranburne that qualifies as a food desert. Okay.
Really?
That'll help us get this grant.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah. And so it will actually, knowing that Ranburne is a food desert, it is going to benefit, okay? So 1 would be the 100% full support, 2 would be the grant process, help write and pay for this grant, find an individual to help. This individual would also try to help find, I think this is going to be a collaborative effort. You know, this is going to be the work that we'll have to get out, you know, grant writers and whatever else, you know. I've kind of lost track of that, but, you know, maybe somebody that's still in the education field can help us out a little bit. And then the third one, I know that this is coming up when Tammy comes to us about a tax abatement, but what I want to look at is a tax abatement for this project or for this grocery store / deli, but it would only be at a projected bottom sales number. Okay, now, the individual sitting in here tonight can maybe explain a projected bottom sales number, Shane. Is it Luke? Yeah. And so, well, can we? Can I ask him, Shane, can you tell me what a projected bottom sales number is?
I can, what we did, this is Luke Bowman with WM. They have already paid out of pocket for a Riverband Retail Consulting, a market summary analysis of the area. And so, do you want to speak to that? Do you want me to just?
I can tell you what it is.
Yeah.
So we pay this company when we go in. I'm with WM Grocery, by the way. Hey, no shock, but so when we get this in our mind where we want to go with a grocery store, we have a consulting company out of Tennessee that we'll just send an email and we pay I think it's $1,700 for them to do a computer survey to give us an estimated gross of what we can make per week if we do this. And so that's where we're at with that, and we got that survey done, and we have the survey that we can share with you guys and everything. But is that all you want to do? So just to give you an idea about the survey, it didn't come back great, honestly, because it's a computer survey. It's just an overall look. But I know the town ranker, and it doesn't tell you what's leaked into Georgia. And so that's something that we were talking about things that the city could help us with. The next step would be to get an on-the-ground survey where we can really see what is leaking to Georgia, what's leaking, what we could get from Graham, what we could get from the whole town of Ranburne, and really see those numbers and see what that would be. But you don't know about that.
The projected, so the ground floor on the tax abatement was, they're not asking to give a full abatement, but what it is the projected numbers come out, and I think we said 75,000.
Around 75 to 80,000 per week for the computer survey.
So if we hit that benchmark goal, then anything above that, then we'll give the money, which you're getting nothing now, right? That way we can, pay off debts and have the business going and know we're not going backwards in the business. And then when we hit the goal that we thought, and this is the same structure at the pilot, correct? The pilot station, that's the same thing they did with the pilot station. So if you would talk to that committee in Heflin that brought that over there, it's the same structure as that. And that once you hit that benchmark or that magic number, then you know you're okay. So then you're going to pay back your taxes because we're doing this for everybody. This is going to benefit everybody. And so one thing I did want to say is that at that number, and this is on the paper, I can leave this with you, the conclusion recommendation was for this location that, get back to a good sentence, says these facts, when coupled with the lack of competition in the immediate vicinity, ultimately leads to one conclusion, that a full survey of this location, which he's talking about on the ground survey, so the full survey, while not a misuse of funds, is sufficiently constrained by its limited potential, that being the lower benchmark than what we had projected, that is reasonable to question the viability of such an expenditure of funds without knowledge beforehand, which is why we're here today, that substantial external financial support for the development of the project is readily available. So in other words, if we don't have full cooperation with the community and the council, then, it's not something we're going to go all in out of our pockets and build out, if that makes sense.
Trevor, I think that the commission, the county, has to be involved in that way as well. They have
In the grant writing, yes.
No, I'm talking about in the tax abatement, I'm talking about the abatement, yeah. That comes from the industrial board.
Right.
So they'll have to be involved in it as well.
That's wonderful.
Okay.
So Shane, let's do this. You guys you gonna gather an on-ground survey between now and the next meeting, or what if we go ahead and put y'all on the next agenda to present anything else that we come across?
We can do that.
Okay. I wanted to make sure that the city council didn't get 100% approval. I knew that was a big thing going into it.
That's what we're looking for.
And my vote, I'm for it. I can't answer for the rest of them, but I just wanted to show you my support for it. And I knew that was what Shane and I talked about. That was one big thing. That's a big move. And if we can get it going forward, I'm willing to call Terry this week and see if there's something in his realm of knowledge that he would help us write a grant.
And I can send you some specific grant titles.
Please.
I may already have.
You may have. We'll talk later. But yeah.
Thank you.
Are y'all in support
I am, 100%.
Yeah. Yes.
of a possible grocery store / deli?
We gotta work through some issues.
Sure. But the thing is, but that's why I said I put that number 1 up there, that 100% full support from the city council.
Yeah.
But I don't want to hear it in a rumor mill. I believe they need to come to, I don't want no, how to hear how to rumor mill.
That is coming.
Well, I think that's why they're here tonight.
That's what I mean, you know.
They're here tonight to present
Yeah.
before the rumor starts. So now it's out. The grapevine is already going, I'm sure.
That's
But,
fine.
Check Facebook already.
Yeah, it's already on Facebook. Y'all probably having a sale in the deli tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's right. But I think, and I said this to Rodney just a couple of weeks ago, I said, I think the only thing we could do to make everybody in Ranburne happy is to offer a restaurant. Well, it's not a restaurant, but pretty close.
It's his first
So,
cousin.
Yeah,
First
so,
Yeah. We like for any new business to come in.
But I think you're gonna have support here. And so, I just, like I said, I can't speak for everybody else.
So do I need to add to the agenda?
Shane, you and Luke mind being added to the agenda for next month?
That's fine.
Yeah, we'll add and
Okay.
come up with terms and stuff like that.
Okay.
You got that down?
I do. That's why I was asking, so I'll make sure that y'all are added for next month.
It gives a little time to work through some stuff, make a few phone calls.
Yeah, and if you need a hard copy of this, I can leave that with you. I can leave this one with you.
Anything else?
I got 2 more little things, maybe 3. I think at one of our last meetings, I know we met back in November, Thank you, Shane.
All right, appreciate it.
About the zoning and planning commission, that board that we had, I know it came up, is this gonna abolish the board? You know, we abolished the contract. That was what was in that, actually tonight's thing was a contract. I'm gonna vote, I wanna put to a motion that we abolish the zoning and planning board that was created.
That's okay, but when we did away with the contract, it did away with the thing, and if it.
I feel like that there's gonna be,
Yeah.
there's still speculation that the
Right.
board is still in existence.
Well, it's not.
And, okay, well, I say that,
But
I'm gonna make a
let's-
motion to abolish it, the planning and zoning board.
Okay, we got a
I'll make a
motion
motion.
to abolish it, there, second.
Second.
Mitzi and Dennis.
Yes.
Okay.
Did Shelby ever get back with us on how much we owe on the work that they did?
Yeah, 12.5, it's the full amount.
Who is that?
I thought she sent me an
Chevy
email.
With.
East Alabama?
Yeah, East Alabama, she sent me an email and told me that it would be the full amount.
So we owe them.
That we approved back in 2021.
So they're gonna prorate anything, you know, that we didn't use them all the way to the end. So,
And we haven't paid that yet, but we're going to. We haven't paid that yet, have we? I didn't think we had.
And my last thing, what about, I know we talked about the Larry Pool check a little while ago, what about those two bills that I handed you?
They were not approved, and therefore, we're not paying them. We have sent them letters, certified letters telling them so, and they were not approved.
Okay. One of those individuals, we wrote him a check for $1,124 one day. It was for Chance Smith. We wrote him a check without our approval.
I don't know. What was that for?
Samantha wrote the check, you signed it, or I don't know who signed it.
That was,
But-
I think that was the first day you was on the
Very
job.
first day, the very
You
first
can
30
explain that
minutes.
to them a little bit. I think it was, I don't even know what it was for, like,
For gate,
What they
or
have-
for gravel, excuse me, I get it right here.
So we brought a bill in, why didn't you bring the other bill when you come?
Wasn't finished. That was at the beginning.
What date was that check wrote?
It was done by October, maybe the 4th, or it was literally the first 30 minutes I was in.
they demanded to be paid right there, and she didn't even have a check to write.
I remember signing it.
That was
I think you signed it,
11.
didn't you?
I signed it.
Yeah.
I don't know that.
Oh, for a drag, for the arena drag, $1,127 for the arena drag. And so, and I don't mean to put you in first day on the job, I'm just saying, this to me is because, you know, we pay this one individual, which is $1,127 for the drag, I'm fine with that. But now, same individual and another one comes back and wants to get paid, and we hadn't paid them. But we paid another individual $8,000 without city council approval. So are we picking and choosing who we're paying? Because if I'm on their end, you know, I'd be a little upset knowing that you knew that I got one check, but now I can't get another check, and someone else, you know, got paid, and I'm not getting paid. I'm being the voice of the concerned person. And I think they have a legitimate right to be paid, although we didn't approve everything else. And we're wrong for that.
How much is it?
One was for
Honestly, I don't
one for
remember.
19,500, and the other one was for donated sand for 17,500.
So who, I guess I asked who requested for them to do that work.
I didn't.
Glenn, I'm assuming.
Did Glenn also request, Larry Ford?
Yeah,
Yep.
yes, he was with me and him went to see him.
So,
So if y'all were together, did you know, did Larry,
Larry said that he would do it for his expenses. His original bill was $12,000, but he gave the town a break for $8,000.
Trevor, did you say 19?
19.5 and 17.5. But you see what I'm saying? Is that one individual gets to go and gets paid, two more individuals do pretty much what, you know, and I don't know, I just watched it. But we're not paying two individuals.
are these detailed bills?
I just handed him Rodney.
I would almost
I didn't know.
want,
I just handed him.
That's what the letter
Nobody
that
ever,
went to them
nobody
said,
ever
it wasn't,
contacted me about it.
it
or
wasn't an
anything.
authorized.
It was brought in by
That's what the letter
Trevor,
back to them
to
said.
me, just recently, and I sent them to y'all.
And once again, this 8,000 wasn't authorized either.
did we have a detailed bill from him? From Larry?
Yes.
I had the same.
And we had a detailed bill on that first, and we
For
because we, 11, did you say 1150?
1127.
1,127.
Yeah.
Because we had to wait on the bill.
Yeah. And that was written.
That was after the radio was over,
No.
October.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
sorry.
over.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I was
way
sorry.
after it was over.
So-
I knew nothing about it, had no idea about it, nothing.
Well, all of these were they.
Did you-
It really, I guess before, after, and in the middle of the rodeo. What's fair is fair, and this isn't fair. This is not fair to other individuals.
How many hours did, Larry's bill say?
125
125 hours?
on his machines. I asked
We
him,
would not have been able to.
that's not
If
hearsay.
Larry Quillen hadn't come over here with his dozers and pans and all that kind of stuff, we wouldn't have a place, and we had signed a contract with the Chamber of Commerce to come here. And so we had a contract with them to have the site prepared. We were getting down to the nitty gritty, and I said, we got to do something. And so I took Glenn with me, and we went down and talked to Larry. He said he would do it for his expenses. And he got Scotty Cofield, help it. That place would not have been ready for anything if it hadn't been for what they did.
See, we were made to believe that all of that was gonna be donated,
Yeah.
all of it,
Yeah.
including,
When I did see Cleburne County dump truck out there several times,
but it was never
dumping
because,
rock to
I
Cleburne.
remember the hesitation, we all had hesitation
Mhm.
of getting site prep and how much it was gonna cost. And it was made to believe to us that everything was gonna be done at the time.
I can say this isn't going away unless we can settle it somehow. This is not going away.
And I'm not saying that we shouldn't, I'm not saying that somebody shouldn't get paid. I'm saying that we didn't authorize any of that.
We're not authorizing any of it.
Not saying that it shouldn't get paid, I don't want anybody to not get paid, but that is a lot of money for us to, and the event coordinator now is not here, so, you know, there's no renegotiation or of anything.
And I don't know the answer tonight. I don't know the answer, except to pay them. Because,
If we pay them the full amount, we're gonna go back and do Larry Pullen.
Mhm.
and hey,
And how we gonna,
I'm for whatever
How we
to
gonna-
make,
how we
to
gonna pay
hush,
that?
to do what?
how we gonna pay it?
I don't know. That's the reason I didn't go approve stuff to be law.
Anything else?
So we just gonna leave this as just conversation and
Yes.
just let it go?
We've already sent letters. And
Well, I
we'll
want-
have to,
I want
and
it to
I've
be
already
known.
talked with our attorney about it, and so,
Can you explain what our attorney said?
no,
We
I'm not gonna sit here and discuss it with you, what our attorney said here tonight.
Whatever.
Let's go another month without knowing anything. And another month, and another month.
I make a motion, we adjourn this meeting.
I make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
Thank you.
Second.